Hello and welcome back to Coffee Infused Crypto. So today, guys, is gonna be a continuation video of our very important video that we put out yesterday. So if you haven't watched that one, please do go watch it and then come back, continue this video so that you can understand what are those green boxes, what are those golden lines here, and yeah, so that you can carry forward with this. Today we're not gonna address price action much, but we're gonna address the different aspect where the economical situation argument. You hear that back in the previous cycles we had a different economical situation, and how did governments and institutions tackle or address or interacted with the crypto space? How did that affect the crypto space, and how strong relatively we are when we look back in history? So at some point in this video, I'm gonna get to a conclusion where you will hear me say, get the hell out of my face. To whom and in what context? Stick around, grab your cups of coffee, and let's dive in. So we're not in the current 2023 section. This is the 2019 green box, and again, go back to the video, watch and understand what are those green boxes, golden lines. But ever since we entered that green box, we had a couple of incidents where I went back in history again and checked the moves to the downside. Like, we had two major moves here, right? So people still calling hitting a new all-time low, or current bear market low currently, and we're gonna move in future and see what targets they're calling. But here is an incident where we didn't ever since we entered the green box, we never went back to our previous lows. Only in one occasion we double bottomed, but that was earlier. So even here we had two major incidents. This one caused around 20% move in a matter of 2 days, and this is on the daily. Definitely, yeah, it was an 18% crash in a day. And this was the news. BitMEX exchange was being investigated by the US Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, for allowing US residents to trade on the platform. And such news came out, 18% crash to the downside. We spent a couple of 2 weeks maybe below the red moving average here, which is the 200 daily, and then pushed up and then struggled. So we were having this momentum going to the upside, and this just killed it off. It postponed it. It was a very timed announcement. You're looking into probing BitMEX and exchange and stuff like that. So that postponed the move, and then COVID came. This was the COVID crash, which again, that moved us 47% in a day and a half. So in total, in 2-3 days, we bottomed at almost that was a wick to 56% to the downside. So COVID did them a favor here, to say the least. So yeah, that tactic worked. Okay, so it definitely worked. COVID came and finished the job, but eventually 1 year later we ended up higher than we entered this box. So that was the major event that happened. One tactic that worked with the US government in their stance with crypto. They don't like it, but it's not their best friend, to say the least. So to jump into current times, and this solidifies my theory of us being stronger, more resilient. And we spoke about the 200-week moving average yesterday, and we're gonna tap into the 50 and the 100 today. So the 20 and the 50 to be exact. So this is the current actions that have been done by the US government currently, like starting the beginning of this year. So we're gonna zoom in because the guys have been a little bit busy. We can agree to that. So let's dive in. So first of all, ever since we had this jump from the upside, from the we rallied from the downside to the upside. Currently at around this area, we started rallying, and ever since we moved here, we have this first SEC action, which it was charging Genesis and Gemini for unregistered offer and sales of crypto assets securities through Gemini Earn Lending program. Okay, so let's recall BitMEX a bit. 18% of the downside instantly ever after it was being charged by the CFTC. So here we have the SEC charging Gemini. We know the news if you were following, and this is just part of what they have been doing. Well, like everything doesn't fit, trust me. So this is part of what they have been doing. So how did the market react, or how did Bitcoin react to this news? Well, second day a pump, third day a pump, accumulation and pumping to the upside, and just continuing moving forward, right? So they rolled out this didn't take effect, right? So what happened next? On the 9th of March, President Biden's on 9th of March, Executive Order EO on ensuring responsible development of digital assets outlined the first whole of government approach to addressing the risks. So this was the first, like the US presidency coming out with this white paper of addressing cryptocurrencies specifically, and you can go look it up. It's not good for the cryptocurrency. It's like, yeah, it has a lot of risks involved in this paper, around in the hundreds, repeated. So yeah, they took the big guns and really forced, the market, really just, spread the fear, let the market crash, because it has worked with us earlier. So what happened on this day? Yeah, this day we had on the 9th of March, Bitcoin just went for 2 days, a 10% crash based on this news, and an accumulation of the SEC moving, presidency, a paper. But again, that lasted for only 2 days, and then the market recorrected, pushed up even harder than it was pushing before. And here is on the 22nd of March, we have the SEC again moving, charging crypto entrepreneurs like Justin Sun and his companions and companies. So Justin Sun and anyone related to his companies for fraud and other securities and law violation. Alongside, they charged a bunch of celebrities. To name some of them were Lindsay Lohan and Jake Paul, among many others, for endorsing some currencies like TRX and BTT, and they pointed fingers at those two currencies as well. So SEC moves again, market sideways action. Second day, Coinbase receives a Wells notice from the US Security and Exchange Commission. Markets moving sideways again. That didn't crash the market. That didn't take us 18% to the downside. President's white paper, SEC moving like 3 times in a row in less than a month. Markets moving sideways. And last but not least, and definitely that's not everything, last but not least, CFTC announced it was suing Binance.us on this date, on the 27th of March 2023, entering into our green zone. We have all of this junk without non-clarity from the SEC, abiding by the law companies, trying to form some sort of a relation to be under the law, and they're just getting Wells notices, being charged without any clarity in the space, and it's firing back for them. So with everything's happening, and look at this price action. No 20% to the downside, no 40% to the downside. And arguably, we're in a bad economic situation, right? So any of those moves in a healthy economic situation back in 2017, as we said, as we saw, 17 or 19 was that, in 2019. Here we had a healthy economic situation. We had a very healthy economic situation, and a BitMEX exchange was being investigated, crashed the market 18%. Here, not so good of an economic situation that we are in now. And look at this Royal Rumble happening here. People who are still calling for a 40% crash, which we might get, and we will definitely get, but not for a new low. So I'm addressing people again calling for a 9K. Get the hell out of my face. So we're seeing that's happening, and I'm gonna remove all the news. So we saw all of this happening. Let's go to the weekly and address one more technical thing so that we're combining, you know, technicals with news, with how happily or how madly or how aggressively the we're being fought on an institutional level and governmental level, which is okay because Bitcoin does whatever Bitcoin wants to do. So Bitcoin's doing whatever Bitcoin's designed to do. And yeah, we're seeing a very strong move. Yeah, we're halted at around this area, but definitely those areas, so those are the heaven and hell, the bread and butter. Those are the bull and bear. This is the trend line. This is the one where we break, we solidify 30, we stay above, then we're on a different league. So another thing we need to address here, we didn't address yesterday, is the 20 and 50 week moving average, right? So the 20 and 50 week moving average, if you notice, when we entered this green box earlier, that the 20 crossed 50, that was a month and like a month and a couple of weeks, a month and a half later, we had the 20 cross the 50 for the first time. And definitely this is an exception because this is a COVID crash. Okay, so it should have started here and continued, but again we had a black swan event. But in month and a half later, this crossed, and usually we discussed this in a previous video. When we cross this, it's technically a very bullish sign, and it's a confirmation of a reversal and on a macro scale. So another previously or even in 2015, it's 2 months later, the white crosses the blue, the 20 crosses 50, 2 months later. And of course, in both occasions we're trading above the 200, right? Above the 200, 20 crossing 50 a month and a half later. Even here, like that's like, yeah, that's almost 3 months later or more. So we crossed 20 crossed 50 3 months later, when we are in the middle to the ending part of the green box. Whereas now, as we said yesterday, trading right over the 200, we have a cross 20 over 50. So it has already happened. The cross is here. So that which happened even later and then continued our move to the upside, we already have it by now. So the only obstacle that still remains and we need to flip is this one. This 100 weekly moving average is the last obstacle that is hovering above us. So this would be the next target after we clear the orange line. So here it was crossed the very beginning, and here it crossed even later on, like in the middle. So doesn't matter, not necessarily, but whenever it was crossed, yeah, that was history. So all three or all four would align in a white, blue, orange, and red, and that would give us the perfect formation of an uptrend. So the only obstacle now, this is cleared, all the FUD, all the actions, all the lawsuits, everything that's happening to combat crypto and to have similar actions like we had in the past of those crashes to to set us even like to set us back. So that's not working so far with even the big guns, and we're still on track. So those, if we're gonna go back to history with the economical situation and all of that, well, when we were in a healthy economic situation, any FUD or any news of an exchange being sued used to set us back 20%, and that is not happening now with our bad universal economic situation. So just imagine what would happen when the world's economic situation starts flipping, like let the recession end, let everything end. What will happen to this market when it starts flipping bullish again? And when would you want to be in? When it's too late and we're bullish on the economical, world economic stance again, or you want to position maybe before, maybe at the worst of the worst cases. So I'll leave that up to you. That's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you like the content, make sure to support us by leaving a comment, hit the bell notification, and share this with your loved ones. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.